All right. Excuse me. There we go. Check these levels. I brought them down yesterday because welcome to the high noon edition of Pugs and Company here. You could hear us every Monday through Friday, noon to 2, and then we come back and we do a Pillow Talk edition at 10 o'clock at night. Okay, someone's already texting me. Excuse me. The Pillow Talk edition comes on at 10 o'clock at night, and then we go to probably about noon. Let's bring in the other half of the And Company. Here he is. He is Biggie, Uncle Lee, E the artist. Sunglasses is his alias at night. He's here. How are you today, Biggie? Biggie, you're not Biggie, though. Nobody's ever called you Biggie, right? I mean, you're not a fat guy. Isn't that a fat guy thing?
I don't know if it's fat guy thing. I used to be called Big E a lot.
Really?
Yeah, but I was kind of a little fat guy.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. You did used to be chubby. I seem to remember a picture of you on a golf course standing with a bunch of guys, and you were certainly not the svelte figure of excellence that you portray today, but you were also not fat. And this is coming from a fat guy. Did you think you were, the picture I'm talking about? The golf picture?
Oh, I certainly do. My wife points that picture out quite often when she refers to me. Oh my God, you were so fat back then.
Oh my God, she's body shaming you. Why is your wife feel comfortable body shaming you? You were absolutely not fat.
I was big, dude. I was big. I had 40. I think I got like to 38-inch waist at that point. Like I needed to bring it in.
Okay. All right. See, that is what a guy who has never truly been fat thinks is fat. You were not fat. What was your highest weight? I mean, I'll tell you right now, my highest weight was 254 pounds.
Probably 230.
230. And you're about 6'1".
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, last time I weighed myself, although I got to be honest, I'm on this potato diet. And
are you still doing that?
Well, here's the problem. The potato diet doesn't really work when you do it for 4 days and then you go off it for 3 because your kid is here and your kid is not on a diet and you need to share meals with them. So I'm back on it today. Yes, I've already had a potato today, but it only works if that's all you eat. Like I had halal guys, which is so good. I love halal guys. That's me and my kid's special place. We love that place. And then I also had McDonald's, and oh God. And then I had chicken. We made a nice chicken dinner last night, but it was like chicken with rice and now I'm back on the potato diet, and I honestly feel like I gained weight over the past 7 days. So again, it was 4 days on potato diets, nothing but potatoes, and it wasn't that difficult. It really wasn't. I could do that. It was 4 days on and then 3 days off. And I also ate some Jolly Ranchers and potato chips while we're watching movies, and I tried to justify in my head, well, I'm on the potato diet. No, no, potato chips don't count on the potato diet. It's not the same thing.
Why not?
Because they're fried, and it's about how they're cooked. It's about,
okay, it's oil. The way they're cooked.
Yeah, oil.
All right, because I was going to say they're going to have like potato and seasoning. I mean,
yeah, but it's the oil. It's the bad oil. And I'm supposed to only eat potatoes that are either boiled or baked, So, like microwave baked potatoes or boiled potatoes and a little bit of salt. I'm back on it. Eye of the Tiger, back on it. I'm trying. Hey, happy National Farmers Day today.
How about if you're a potato farmer, you get a double shout out.
That's actually just what I was thinking. I was talking about potatoes, and I went, oh, they come from the ground. And I went, oh, it's Farmers Day. Shout out to all our farmers. Do you know any farmers?
No.
I don't either. I don't know. Jeff Glenn says he'd love to be 250 right now. Well, Jeff, how big are you? I mean, 250. I don't know. You know what? That's not fair. That is not fair because I do not know how tall you are. It really does depend on how tall you are, because you at 6'1" and 230, you said was your height, your biggest?
Yeah.
6'1", 230, that's not big. That's chubby. That's chubby for you. And I can see how people who know you would think, oh, that's fat. But that is highly insulting to us actual fat guys.
Well, I'm not trying to insult you.
No, you're just scoreboarding us with. That's like when a beautiful woman goes, "Oh my God, I look so gross today." No, you don't. You just don't look like a 10. You're a 9.5 today, but you just think that that's not fair. Okay. Oh, also programming note, shorter show than usual today. That's right. We're doing another
I know why.
probably the last time ever. I have a baseball game that is starting at 1:15 today, and although Saturday night was one of the most joyous baseball experiences of the year, I have no delusions that will continue, especially since Houston is running out of pitcher today for the second time in 4 days, who has absolutely owned us all season. So, that's going to be a little difficult. That's going to be.
So you can't watch it on 45-minute delay?
No, hell no. You know why? And yeah, I normally maybe I could if it was a regular season game or something like that. But because there are so many people in my immediate universe, I've got 3 people who are actually at the game. They're just going to ruin it for me. And my texts are going to go bring, 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 bring. Well, thank you, Adam. I hope they do get it done. That is a hope. Adam Moreno, White Sox are going to get it done. I hope so. I really do. But I have no delusions. This my pitching staff, who kept us in first place since May when the rest of the team's hitters were all on the injured list, they're all injured now. So it's like a whole season we had one of the best pitching lineups in all of baseball, and they were killers, and our hitters were all on the IL. We played a bunch of AAA players all season long, but now our hitters are healthy and our pitchers are all. We are starting a guy. Okay, so this is all I'm going to say on this. We are starting a guy today who, until about August, was leading in the Cy Young Award voting. Carlos Rodon. He was leading. It was Carlos Rodon. It was Lance Lynn, another one of our pitchers who got shelled. It was Lance Lynn, and it was Garrett Cole. Those were like the 3 top guys for the Cy Young as of August, right? Carlos Rodon has nasty, nasty tools in his box, but he throws 98, 99 miles an hour with those nasty tools. His last 2 starts, he's been hitting 89. 90. His arm is sore. He hasn't pitched in 2 weeks. They put him on the shelf for 2 weeks. Oh, so you can see what I'm expecting. I'm expecting this deadly Astros hitting lineup. Oh God, the Astros are good. And do people here in Dallas, do they like the Astros, or are the Astros?
I think the Astros are not well liked here
because of the Rangers, right? Because we're Ranger fans.
Well, the Rangers won, and then the cheater thing too.
Yeah. Adam says, "Come on, man. You can think you don't have a chance, but if you act like you're going to lose, you're going to lose." Blah, I don't have any effect on it. I'm not playing. I am hoping against hope, because my kid is gonna. Oh my God, my kid will probably cry. No, he won't. He won't cry. He's not a baby. I have to qualify that in the off chance that he hears this and then gets mad that I'm telling people, because when you're a 12-year-old boy, it's all about being macho.
Yeah.
He won't cry, but he'll be upset. And I don't want my kid to be upset. I don't want my kid to be upset because at 12 years old, you're
Quit
still
blaming your kid, damn it. You're going to be upset.
No, I'm really not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
No, I'm honestly not, man. I expected it to be over on Saturday. Saturday was a wonderful surprise. The bats came alive. The pitching was there. The bullpen is still the best in baseball, in my opinion. But it's the problem with the starters. When a team gets 6 runs in the first 3 innings and you have to go to the bullpen in the top of the 4th or wherever you go to it. Oh man, that's a lot of heavy lifting. And I'm not going to be upset. I love this team. I have seen every single game this year because of my ability to record games and then watch them on delay. I have been able to see every single game. But you got to be honest about your team. The pitching is not there. It has not been there. So, we're not going to look. We're not going to make this a whole thing. But I appreciate you, Adam. I appreciate the confidence. But I've been here. I've been here before, and This is not the year. We were in a 5-year rebuild before the team was going to be set. This is year 5. All right. We were ahead of schedule last year. This is year 5. These guys are still young kids. This is still a team that's coming together. We're still going to go heavy in free agency this year. So next year.
Dude, I listened to you tell me how you were watching a World Series team like for 3 months out of this year. Now all of a sudden you've dialed it back, which is good. You needed to dial it back, but you certainly had World Series dreams.
They were, yeah, in August and July. Yeah, they absolutely were. This team hasn't been. I think the other problem is that they've been in first place since early May. I mean, they won their division by the largest margin in baseball. They blew everybody out in the division. Nobody has been chasing them. We've been playing AAA players for most of the season because we had such a large lead. I think that's got to have some kind of effect on your hunger. And now they're down. Maybe they'll get hungry now. Who knows? I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk. Nobody wants to hear this. Yes, and you're right. All season long, back in July, they were the World Series. They were a World Series looking team. But things change. Hey, your Yankees were a World Series looking team in
Never.
Well, no,
not this whole season. They were awful. They were awful.
Adam also says, Emil, baseball is so random. The best team doesn't always win. Look at the Red Sox. That's absolutely true. We have owned the Red Sox this year. We've owned the Tampa Bay Rays this year. The only teams that we haven't owned this year are the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees. And we got rid of the Yankees, thankfully. But there are the Houston Astros. Look, credit where credit is due. Cheaters or not, the Houston Astros 1 through 9 are a good team. They are really good. You look at the OPS on their first 7 hitters, they're all over 850. They're all like 890, 900 OPS guys. I mean, that is ridiculous. And they're all proven vets, and they're all, old players who don't get it. I can't with this. Okay, so let me see here. How about we start today with a little moment of joy? This is one that I like. Here we go. This is a good one. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it. Yep. Okay. Who is this? All right. Yeah, there it is. All right, moment of joy. We like to start on each every show. All right, you're out on vacation, and a warthog comes up to you. How do you react? Let's see how they did.
He's going to come up the steps. Here he comes. Oh my goodness, and he's huge. Hello, boy.
Nope, don't do that.
I wonder if we can pet him.
No, you cannot pet him.
Hi, boy.
Can we touch him? No, don't.
He's wagging his tail.
Help me! Help!
Look at him right there.
That's your moment of joy?
That is my moment of joy. Because dumb Aussies. But you see this thing with the horns approaching you like it doesn't have a care in the world. You better, not think that he's friendly. This ain't a petting zoo. They look to be out in the wild somewhere, probably in Africa. Yes, Steve, that warthog gave 0 Fs. That is true. All right, fine. You want to be a jerk about the moment of joy? I got another moment of joy for you. Here you go. Oh, yeah. Here we go. What? Hold on. Why didn't that one show up? That one did show up. All right. Here, I'll give you another moment of joy. Just because you're right. That one was a little bit... But can you tell my mood? I'm in a very cranky mood.
Well, that's only because you're thinking about the game starting at 1:15.
I am a little concerned. I'm a little concerned. All right, here you go. Here's a real moment of joy. This one is a nice one, and you'll enjoy this one. This is how about we watch a little dog try and steal his brother dog's bone while his dog's asleep. Here you go. Here's a moment of joy. Look at these 2 babies. He wants that bone. He gonna get that bone too. He gonna get it. Is he gonna get it, or is something gonna happen?
I say he doesn't get it.
He's being very delicate with it.
He looks like he knows something bad is going to happen if he gets caught with it.
Yeah, and he got it. All right, congratulations. Isn't that a moment of joy? Stealing something from your brother and he doesn't wake up. That's so nice. All right, we can be done with that. We can now get into what we do here on the show, which is we like to, here, let me get rid of that.
Gabby Petito news conference is at 12:30 our time.
Yeah, thank you. That's trending. Gabby Petito is trending today. The Wyoming coroner is going to announce exactly what her cause. Well, I shouldn't, project like that. I don't know what he's going to announce, but we're expecting him to announce the cause of death, right? Any theories on cause of death? Strangulation, bullets? What is this really going to do? I think it's going to inform those of us who have been obsessed with this case a little bit, but I mean, again, I don't know.
I think it's going to lead to a different arrest warrant for Brian Laundrie.
A different. Well, what is it now? Isn't it? Oh, yeah, because right now the only warrant that's out for him is for credit card fraud.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I think this will up the ante in terms of the arrest warrant. I don't know that that's going to change anything. But I do think it will change his arrest warrant status.
So are we thinking homicide? He'll be now upgraded to a murder suspect.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, he is the only person of interest at this point. So if this autopsy reveals the cause of death, I think that will then become why his warrant will be changed from credit card fraud to include this new type of, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be strangulation because it seems like you would have had that knowledge a long time ago. What would have taken this long?
I don't know. You look, it's not going to make them find him harder. It's not going to make them look for him anymore. It honestly seems like we've all just kind of gone, well, he got away. Moving on to John Gruden or, whatever it is that's, going to.
But doesn't it always seem that way after a while? You kind of, try and try and try, and then you can't find them. And, that's why they have the cold case files.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is a very high profile case to be cold. Most of the cold case. Is Dog still out there, or is he given up? I mean, how much is this costing Dog? You know what I mean?
Dog is still out there. He has an opinion regarding this. He doesn't think it's going to be suffocation either.
Okay. So maybe at any rate, there we go. We don't have any new information on it. So, but we will tonight. We'll probably break this down, the whole autopsy report tonight on Pillow Talk, because that's been the place where we spent the most detailed time covering this story. So we'll find out. And that is, is it 1:30? Are they saying, they said early afternoon?
Yeah, it says 1:30.
So that would
live press conference. People are going to assemble via Zoom.
And that would be 12:30 their time.
12:30 our time.
No, they're behind us. Mountain time is behind us an hour. We're Central. They're Mountain. So if it's 1:30,
it'll be 11:30, I think, because it said 1:30 Eastern, which is 12:30 our time.
Well, if it's
it'll be during the show here in about 12 minutes, I think.
Okay, yeah. So so it'll be 11:30 there. Whatever, we'll find out. We've all got the news on, so I'm sure if it comes on, maybe we will talk about it here. Kyrie Irving is trending today. A lot of sports stuff. I'll be honest with you, folks. There's a lot of politics, a lot of stuff about Texas politics that I just not care to talk about. There's a lot of stuff about sports, and there's a lot of stuff about BTS. The boy band, Boys That Sing. Is that what it stands for?
Boys That Sing.
Yeah. The South Korean pop band that just is the biggest thing in the world, apparently, especially if you go by trends on Twitter platforms and, Google and all that stuff. Apparently it's Jimin's birthday today. There's another one of these guys have a birthday every couple of weeks.
Well, as many guys as they have in the band, that's just, bound to happen.
How many guys are in the band?
I think it's isn't it like 7?
I don't know. Yeah.
How many members are in BTS?
I don't know.
But
I don't care.
I mean, and you're going to have a lot of sports right now because you're on the cusp of, NHL starts tonight. NBA starts in about I think it's 8-9 days.
Yeah.
You got college football going on. You got pro football going on. You got the ladies NBA championships going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're in the midst. We got baseball, you got almost every sport going and college sports going, soccer going. So you can't help but have sports.
Do you, I hear you mentioned the WNBA finals. Do you I mean, is that something for you? Have you ever watched a WNBA game? I haven't.
No, I just thought I would try to be politically correct
Yeah.
and mention what I knew was happening.
Apparently, it's we're being told it's a big deal. I'll say that about the WNBA. We are being told that it's a big deal by all of the sports platforms. ESPN is dedicating an awful lot of time. Do they even show WNBA games? I don't think so. I don't think they do. I think they'd rather play a Pacific West game, football game, than have to show the WNBA.
Well, you just can't randomly pick up and send your crew out there. You have to have the rights. So they would have had to.
Did they even try to get this?
They would have had to. They would have been the winning bidder.
My point is, I think it's great that women can play basketball. Never thought that they couldn't, but it's just not. Is it because I'm an old white man that it doesn't appeal to me? I mean, I guess my question is, do 15-year-old white kids who like basketball watch the WNBA?
Well, I would think you would have to. I mean, I don't think you can just pick it up. Although that's not true. We kind of picked up the College World Series, the Softball World Series, and we started liking that. So I think you'd have to actually watch a game in order to start maybe getting hooked.
Yeah.
Because remember when we started watching the College World Series? Ed did here at the house, the softball.
Yeah, but I didn't.
We watched it for a night at the bar.
Well, because it was on,
and then we followed up because they had a good game, and that one girl seemed like she was smacking home runs a bunch.
Yeah, that was interesting. What teams? Do you remember what teams they were?
It was Oklahoma and UCLA.
It's you. Very good. I would never in a million years have been able to tell you it was those teams. I don't know. We talked about this last night. I don't think I'm a misogynist in the least. I'm all for, the, what do they call it? Would it be integration? I guess it would still be integration of female referees into sports and all that. We were championing the idea last night of females doing play-by-play for, major sports. But I've always felt that the WNBA was something that was forced on us. Would these teams exist if actual NBA teams weren't forced to support a WNBA team? And then that's what they are. All of the NBA teams have WNBA teams. But it seems like they put more into their summer leagues and G League teams than they do their I mean, and I say this, and theoretically, my team, the Chicago Sky, is playing in the finals, and they're up 1-0. But I couldn't name, aside from Candace Parker, anybody on the team. And I only know Candace Parker because she's a local Chicago girl, and she's the sister of Jabari Parker, former NBA player. I don't know. They're wonderful athletes. They're great at what they do. But when I watch, can we be honest? When I watch NBA basketball, okay, I don't see that level of athleticism and performance on WNBA. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's more passing and it's more strategic and, more like that. But it's just not as exciting to me. Call me a misogynist if you want, but I'm sorry. I'm just doing the eye test here. It's not as exciting to me.
Well, they don't seem to have the fly through the air skills. If that's what you're referring to.
I don't know. Do they? I don't think they do. I've never seen highlights of that kind of stuff,
Well, I mean, I've watched a few games. I've caught a few games on TV, and it seems like they're a better version of what it would be like if you had a bunch of guys that couldn't jump all that much because they weren't all that tall.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, I think the league average height is a lot less than the NBA.
So you're describing the WNBA is like the NBA in the 1950s when it was all like short white guys passing the ball 4 times.
Yeah, I mean they're very skilled and talented, and I mean if we'd get our butts kicked by them, but I just don't think they have. I don't think they have the height advantage and some of the physiques.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Adam says exactly how I feel about it. They're skilled and they're talented. Why wouldn't they be? Well, that's yeah. Why wouldn't they be? It's not like we don't think women have athletic skills, but it's not exciting nor interesting at all. And that comes from Adam, who is about as politically correct as they get. He's very, he'll shoot you down, man. You say something that even dances on the non-politically correct borderline, and he will shoot you dead where you stand. So I'm happy to see him say that. I would have been afraid that he would, argue that it's just as exciting as the NBA, because it's not. And maybe it is to some people, but it's just not. I mean, look, hey, man, I produced radio for the Chicago Bulls network when they were winning championships, right? I mean, my bar is kind of high on what I expect basketball to look like. I became a Golden State Warriors fan simply because I loved the style of basketball that they played.
What about women's soccer?
I love women's soccer. World Cup soccer, yeah. I'll watch women's World Cup soccer because that seems to be a little bit closer to what men's soccer is, and the American women's World Cup soccer team is better than the American men's team. American men's soccer blows, but truthfully, our women's team is very good. So, but those are different sports. You know what I mean? It'd be like,
so because they're better, you find it more interesting.
No, I think because the way the game is played is similar. It's not like there are. I'll give you an example. Okay, so if I was a big fan of Olympic weightlifting, and I loved, men's Olympic weightlifting, I probably wouldn't be excited about watching women's weightlifting, right? Because the pounds are a lot lower and it's not quite as impressive when you think of a guy lifting a ton, or you know what I mean? But women's soccer, soccer is about speed and grace and the ability to pass and all that. And women have that on a soccer field just like men do. It's not like it's not like dunks or physical play. Like what I like about the NBA is, I come from the old Bill Cartwright, Bill Lambier school, throwing elbows and, guys getting banged up in the middle and Jordan high flying dunks. That's where my baseline for NBA excellence is, or basketball excellence. And I don't know. And I'm being ignorant right now because I've never watched a WNBA show or game because I've never been lured in by highlights that show me I'm going to get anything like that. Make sense?
Okay, it does. So a closer representation in your mind, skill set to a men's team lures you in, whereas with the WNBA versus the NBA, you don't see the same level of basketball.
Yeah,
soccer you do. I would imagine the next question here, and see what your answer is. So UFC women, UFC men.
No, I don't like UFC women. I don't like watching UFC women. There are individual fighters who I really like and will watch them fight, but pound for pound, no, I don't.
Is it because you don't like watching women beat each other up?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I feel that same way. I don't want to see a female get her eye ripped open or scars on her face or nose smashed or broken. And they may be just as violent as the male counterpart in that weight division, but something about it, I don't know. It just internally, I'm like, oh.
How do I say that I don't even like overly masculine men, high test guys, that's, I don't really like that. And I like women to be women, smart, bold.
You're stepping around some landmines here. Women to be women.
Well, my version of what, I believe that there is a difference between men and women. Call me crazy, but I think there is a difference between women. Now, that doesn't say that women can't do everything that a man can. The greatest surgeon in the world.
And then better.
And better. Oh my God, you're right. There is absolutely nothing in everyday life that a woman can't do that a man can do other than, as I say, power lift. I think powerlifting is probably always going to be something that's going to fall to men. The heaviest thing ever lifted is probably always going to be a man who does it. That's just because of bone density and muscle mass.
Yeah, odds are not in women's favor when it comes to those sports. It's just like, the number of people in Japan that are going to be 7 foot tall are probably less than the number of people in Africa that are going to be 7 foot tall.
Yeah. Anna Marie also brings up another good point. I prefer women's tennis over men's tennis. I can't tell you the last time, if ever, that I've really been interested in a men's tennis match, but I have watched the Williams sisters play countless times. I like this new Japanese girl. Can't remember her name, but I like watching her. And that's, again, we're talking about something. We're talking about a sport that is more. And I almost said delicate, and I didn't mean that, but fluid is the word that I will use. I think women tennis is a sport that is designed for a fluid athlete who can move side to side and back, and have that motion of their swing and all that. And I think women do that every bit as good as men, if not, as you pointed out, if not better. So I definitely like to watch women's tennis over men's. It's just not
See, I
basketball
wonder,
or fighting.
and I wonder, like, okay, if I look at tennis or think about tennis, I can watch a men's tennis match and a women's tennis match, and I see them close to equal. The only difference being one's a man, one's a woman. When I see men's golf and women's golf, I don't see it that way. I see the men's game is farther progressed than the women's game. And I wonder if, because when we were kids, if Billie Jean King is the reason that we saw women's tennis advance so much quicker than women's golf.
Well, first of all, you can never catch me watching golf. I find that, whether it's men's or women's, to be incredibly boring, too slow. There is some drama. Show me the highlights. Show me the highlights of a really nice drive or a beautiful long putt, and I'll be enthralled by that. But just to sit and watch golf, men or women, I can't do. That's just not
Right, but the games are close. Like a woman, in terms of, generally, you find people that play tennis could also be playing golf.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just
See,
I think there's a level of physical fitness that comes with tennis that maybe doesn't come with golf.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
But the body type, for the most part, is not somebody that's overly athletic.
I do not. I see tennis players, both male and female, as being exceptional athletes. You want to talk about a sport that combines all of the things that go: agility, speed, power. All of those things go into playing tennis. I don't see that in golf. And now I know that we are in a new era of golf where these golfers have 0% body fat and, they're sculpted and chiseled, but that's only recent. That's, golfers used to have pot bellies and they used to
They're still
sculpt.
used to the John Daly types.
Yeah, exactly.
And the walrus, what was his name? Oh God, I can't remember.
Yeah. Ben Crenshaw, was that?
No, he wasn't the walrus. I'll think of it here in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
But anyway.
And I always thought that, like, golf wasn't a sport for athletes so much as it was a sport for rich kids who could practice all day. People who didn't have other things that they needed to do, they could just go out and play 18 holes every single day. And that just always seemed to me a bit of
golfers, to me, seem to have the same body type as pitchers.
Yeah. Well, that's not really a thing anymore.
No, but I mean, back in the day, you could get away with being kind of the chunky kid and be able to throw the ball, but you weren't exactly going to be the fastest guy around the bases.
Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, you didn't have to hit. All you had to do is be able to put all your body weight behind a ball and push it in. Art brings up another great sport, gymnastics. I don't think I've ever watched male gymnastics. I don't care about male gymnastics, but I love Olympic gymnastics, and it's almost always women. Why? Can you
Nadia Comaneci?
Well, yeah, but also
and Olga Korbut.
You got all the ones of recent memory too. Go back to Carrie Strug. Remember her? Do you remember when Carrie Strug blew out her leg on the vault and then she had to do a second vault with a blown out leg and she nailed it? Mm-hmm. My God, that's one of the greatest examples of an athlete that I have ever seen in my life. She collapsed into her coach's arms and he carried her off and her leg was all twisted. But that little girl, if there was anything that was proof positive that women are every bit the competitor and every bit the athlete that men's were. It was that Carrie Strug thing from 92 Olympics or something. That was incredible. Oh, you're going to tell me who's the Boston pitcher who had a bloody ankle? His ankle was bleeding. What a competitor. What a competitor this guy is. What was that guy's name? I forgot his name. It's probably good because he's a bit of a douche. But I can't remember. Look at that sock. Let's train the camera on his sock. His foot is bleeding and he's still out there. Carrie Strug had like a blown out ACL and she did a second vault that got her the gold medal. That is some shit.
Yeah.
Name. Can't think of his name.
Thanks to the chat room. Craig Stadler, John. Craig Stadler is the walrus.
John got it.
Love this chat room, man. They're like going to Wikipedia, but quicker.
They're good. Also, another sport that I don't really consider sport, I consider it more art and beauty, is figure skating. I don't give a crap about guys figure. Does anybody give a crap about guys figure skating? No, I know.
Maybe when they're ice dancing in their couples. Like, I think that's when you pay more attention to the guy.
Do you ever pay attention to ice dancing or pairs figure skating?
Well, when I'm watching it, you're forced to watch it during the winter.
Yeah.
Like, I will not watch men by themselves figure skating. If I am going to watch it, I'll watch men and women ice dancing together.
Yeah. But I will watch. Look, anybody who knows me knows I'm a bit of an Olympics diva. I love the Olympics. I love both the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics. I don't know why. I get caught up in the hype. And honestly, now that I'm piecing this all together, with the exception of the men's 4x100 relay or whatever, I mean, almost all the Olympic sports that I like are women's sports. It's all the women that I'm drawn to. I've never really put these pieces together before, but it's true. I can't think of anything in the Olympics that I enjoy watching more than, say, the women's gymnastics finals or figure skating in the Winter Olympics. Hockey, I guess, because I was a kid in 1980, Olympic hockey has always been something that is interesting.
What about downhill skiing? I can watch men or women downhill.
Yeah, I don't even make any distinction between men and women when it comes to that. That's just gravity and an ability to, stay upright. I don't think men are particularly better. Bobsledding, like all the Olympic sports, I don't care, men or women, whatever. Let me watch it. And mostly, as I'm learning right now, live on the air, realizing, I should say, right now on the air, that Olympic sports, it's all about women for me. But just to be clear, I have not gotten into the WNBA. I feel like this has been forced on us for 30 years now. I mean, this league has been around for a long time now. And every time I see I'll give you an example. Okay, so I watched a little thing on Twitter over the weekend because the Chicago Sky, who would be the team that I guess I would be because of birthright, my favorite WNBA team. But
mine would be the Dallas Wings.
Yeah. So the Sky put out this promotional video about how great their season was over the weekend. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to check this out. I'm going to watch this. They're supposed to be good, a little civic pride, that whole thing. Every clip that they showed from this season long, dude, the stadiums are like 80% empty. There's like no crowds.
That's the problem. That's why I don't get interested, is when I look in the stands and I see the stands and they're empty. I'm like, well, I'm not the only one.
All right, Jeff Glenn. All right, you want me to name Gabby? Huh? You want me to go down the list of all of the logos? Stop it. I named Carrie Strug to give you some context as to how far I can go back with appreciating women's gymnastics, but we're not going to double back just to make you feel. I know he's just pushing my buttons, but still. Emil names girls from the 70s. Pug says no recent gymnasts and throws out Strug from 96. And I even thought she was 92. All right, April, we'll get to that. April says she needs more info on the John Cusack story. Yeah, we're going to get to that because I got a couple of hot takes on the John Cusack story. Hold on. But who else is trending today? Of course, John Gruden is trending, but he's trending more because of Keyshawn. Did you see Keyshawn? Keyshawn Johnson is trending today. Do you know why?
I have no idea.
Oh, man. Now, Keyshawn, remember, was a Tampa Bay Super Bowl champion.
Throw me the damn ball, Keyshawn.
Exactly. Here, let's pull up Keyshawn. Let's see where we got here. Yeah. Okay, here it is. This is the one. So Keyshawn played for John Gruden, and Keyshawn has do you watch like you probably don't. Here's how I consume sports radio. I go to YouTube and I Google search the teams I'm interested in, and then I hit search, and then I go to the toolbar and I say today. So I'm just looking at all the national stuff that people are saying about my teams today. Keyshawn is on this he's a morning sports radio host in Los Angeles, but it's a national show. It's syndicated all over ESPN radio, and it's really good. It's Keyshawn, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman. It is a really good show. And Keyshawn Johnson, who I used to think was a bit of an a-hole, right? I mean, wasn't that his reputation that he walked out on teams, and being Keyshawned was a phrase in the NFL for a while, which meant that you were persona non grata? I mean, what are your thoughts on Keyshawn Johnson's reputation?
Well, I remember he came in and he did have that rep that you speak about, but I got to see him, behind the curtain at a couple
Oh yeah,
a couple events, and he seemed like he was pretty funny guy, pretty, liked.
He's terrific as a sports radio host. He is honest. He brings heat. He comes across as not being just someone trying to get ratings, but someone who actually has these heartfelt opinions on stuff. I'm really surprised because I always hated Keyshawn Johnson. Well, Keyshawn went in on his old coach today, and this is why Keyshawn is trending. So let's give this a look here.
I didn't know that John would say things like that and put them in an email. He just always been a fraud to me. He just always been a fraud to me. Never from day one, he's been a used car salesman. And people bought it because he inherited a championship team built by Tony Dungy and Rich McKay. And he came in there with a little bit of different energy that we had with Tony. And it kind of kicked us over the top to get our world championship, which I am grateful for. But at the same time, I also saw through who he was through that journey of getting a championship. The year that, think about it, we won the championship and we're standing on the podium in the Super Bowl, and the general manager is trying to raise the trophy, and the head coach takes the trophy from him, basically says, "Give me this belongs to me." And like all of that, when you're paying attention, and then the next year, the general manager leaves in the middle of the season because he doesn't want to deal with all the shenanigans that was going on. Think about this though, Jay and Max. He leaves in the middle. Rich McKay left in the middle of the season to go take another job with another team because he didn't want to be around this guy. I didn't know that John would...
There you go. That's Keyshawn going in.
Get out the shovel and keep throwing the dirt.
Fraud, used car salesman, pointing out that the general manager who built the Super Bowl team with Tony Dungy left in the middle of the next season. I mean, GMs don't walk out in the middle of a football season. Look, John Gruden, I've always said I thought John Gruden was bad. Is anybody worried about Frank Caliendo? Frank Caliendo, whose entire career is based on John Madden and John Gruden, the two Johns that are the cornerstones of his act. Madden, we didn't even know if he was alive or dead yesterday, so that's not exactly relevant. And now, can Frank Caliendo do John Gruden bits in concert? Is it still funny, or is it now kind of take on a different? That guy's
well, he could certainly take him in the dark direction. I don't know that.
Yes, he could. He could do a blues show.
He could do a blues show for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to be careful though. Are you guilty of racism if you're impersonating somebody else being racist?
You are. I don't know that makes you racist. I think that makes you insensitive to a subject that people see as racist. And I also think you might be exploiting the racism, which could be a problem. But no, I do not think that Frank Caliendo doing John Gruden bits would make. I don't.
Well, you're hiding behind somebody else's, but you're the originator of the bit.
But, people who, and look, I know that you have an ugly history with Frank Caliendo. And,
Thanks to you.
Frank is somebody who over the years has been
I
a
need
good
to
friend
play
of
that
mine.
tape here.
Find it.
I
Find
got
it.
it. I'll find it.
Play
Yeah.
Frank is somebody who I have socialized with. I enjoy Frank, but Frank in real life is a very quiet guy, like very shy and very reserved and very quiet. And you find that a lot of people who do crazy great voices and great impressions are that way. It's because the voices almost allow them to be somebody else because they're uncomfortable with maybe who they are. I'm not saying that's what Frank is. I'm just saying that I noticed that Frank is a quiet guy and that Frank is kind of shy in real life, but he comes alive when he's impersonating somebody else. I just don't know you can do that bit. I don't know what and he's got a million other characters.
Oh yeah, he's got plenty.
Yeah.
He's got plenty.
But his Gruden has always been the moneymaker. His Madden and his Gruden are the moneymakers.
Well, because he kind of, he can put on the costume and look like him.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so John Gruden's been fired, he's resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders after it was revealed by the New York Times that he sent oodles and oodles of racist, homophobic, misogynistic, basically every kind of bad thought you could put in an email. This guy did. And, okay, that's fine. Yeah, the Raiders are the team with the gay player. They got a lot of applause around the league and around the world for the way Mark Davis handled the Carl Nassib making the roster and being an active part in that team. Carl Nassib is the only out homosexual football player in the league. If you remember, the Raiders put out this wonderful corporate press release that got a lot of love around the world, saying we're so proud of him and we're proud of this and blah, blah, blah. And then it turns out a couple of months later that your head coach is calling people the F word and not the FU word.
I think that the other shoe is still not dropped here. Because think about this. Okay, you have these emails for 7 years. Birds of a feather tend to flock together.
Yeah.
If I'm sending these emails that are the way they're described for 7 years, who am I sending them to?
Bruce Allen, former president of the Washington football team, who was fired already. He was fired because of a whole bunch of other scandals that he was
right. But imagine just the list of the CCs. And then if you're receiving it and you're not saying anything about it, or you're to me, it's odd that in today's day and time, we don't have them in front of us right now. They're on lockdown for some reason. And I think that reason is there's probably a lot of other people that are like, oh my God, don't let that get out.
This is one of the worst cases of being struck by a stray bullet ever, because John Gruden was not under investigation here. This is a stray bullet fired at the Washington Redskins that ricocheted and hit John Gruden straight between the eyes. This is an investigation into what Daniel Snyder and the Washington Redskins were up to and whether or not the league should take further action against them. They haven't done anything so far, but this is a stray bullet. This was not supposed to be.
Well, not only is it not supposed to be, but we still don't know who got him. They've went on for 7 years. He seemed like he didn't choose a particular category to malign. He maligned them all. And how they're still under wraps at this point when he got the first stray bullet, to me, only speaks to he's probably the highest profile. But
so far, he's high. He's certainly high. So the initial problem with Gruden came on Friday when I haven't even actually seen the email, and I've been looking at this.
Well, nobody has. You
right.
can't. They'd be up on ESPN if they were out.
Would they? Because Gruden said, "Oh, this is also a bit embarrassing for ESPN because Gruden was employed by ESPN when he was sending all these emails. They came from an ESPN account."
Well,
So they're
I
going
mean,
to
I say they'd be up. Some network would have these emails if they were out.
Yeah, well, the New York Times was supposedly they have the emails. They haven't released them in full, so they've only been reported on by the New York Times. And again, somebody from the league office leaked these to. We assume the league office. This could have been leaked to the New York Times by someone in the Washington football team's league office to sort of, take the spotlight off them and say, "Hey, yeah, sure, you're looking at us, but look at what this high-profile guy that everybody's going to be dazzled by over the next couple." You know what I mean? This could be a diversion to say, stray bullet though. I love that he just got whacked by a stray. He's just standing there on the street corner when a gang fight broke out. he got whacked,
and he was apologizing over the weekend. But his final letter didn't really. I mean, it was just like, "I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt anybody. Peace out."
I imagine that over the next 24 hours, we're going to hear a lot of former players come out with opinions of him. Not now that he's done, now that his career's probably never going to work again. I mean, how could he? Again, okay, so the first email that came out was targeting NFL Players Association rep DeMaurice Smith, and John Gruden described him as having lips like a Michelin tire, which, is probably not the kind of thing you want to describe a black guy to and then have to go coach 40 black guys. I mean, that's kind of like an old man, the big lips trope that he got in trouble for. And that was all that we had until last night. Last night, it was revealed that the New York Times had a whole bunch more. Here are some of the other, again, we don't have the emails, but here are some of the other things that he's been accused of, I suppose. In the emails, Gruden called the league's commissioner, Roger Goodell, F word. The F word with the hard T and the two G's. So he calls Goodell an F word, and he says he's a clueless anti-football pussy. Oh man, is that macho high-test bullshit from a football coach?
I mean, I don't know that I would have used all those explicatives, but I don't like Goodell.
Do you know what the context for this was? Why he's an F word and a clueless anti-football pussy? Because it was when Goodell had decided to take action against concussions and head injuries. So this reveals John Gruden is not thinking concussions and head injuries are a problem, which is a bad look for the league, considering all of the litigation they're involved in with CTE and,
and the cover-up of CTE.
Exactly. So I could see how that, sure, maybe Roger Goodell wants to be a bit punitive because he's been called these names. But the overarching problem here is that the league is trying to show that they take head injuries seriously. And now you've got a high profile coach going, "That's anti-football pussy style." What a meatball that dude. He's such a meatball. John Gruden, please.
He is definitely that.
He said Goodell should have, he also in an email said that Goodell should not have pressured Jeff Fisher, then the coach of the Rams, to draft queers. Michael Sam. When Michael Sam was a standout linebacker for the University of Mississippi, he was taken in a late round, 6th round, I believe. Maybe
old white man.
He said you shouldn't have to draft queers. It's a 7th round pick. Come on, it's good for the league. It shows that you're open-minded. So there's that, and then what's the next one we got here? Let's see here. Gruden's behavior was not limited to 2011. Gruden exchanged emails with Bruce Allen, and other men that included photos of women wearing only bikini bottoms, including one photo of 2 Washington team cheerleaders. Now this goes back to the scandal,
the whole scandal that was up on them,
right? So Bruce Allen, who was the former president of the Washington football team, he stepped down a couple of years ago because in the investigation, and by the way, slow roll the investigation, NFL. I mean, this has been going on for years trying to figure out and there was a huge purge in the Washington football team front offices after this. But one of the big things was Bruce Allen pressured the cheerleaders to join them in Mexico on a, corporate trip or whatever, come on, we'll get some cheerleaders down there, leave the wives at home, that whole meatball boy kind of attitude. And then he like, I'm not going to say made, because I don't know, but apparently they started taking a whole bunch of pictures of cheerleaders in various states of undress and all of that. And John Gruden was sharing them. He was sending them around. Another super embarrassing thing for the league. That was the entire front office was wiped out. And now John Gruden is sharing these pictures.
And you got to think this is because his brother was head coach of the Redskins back then, Jay Gruden.
Yeah, Jay Gruden was fired as well. Yeah.
And so there's got to be something in that chain that connects him. But where does the chain then go?
Yeah, no idea.
That's the part where I think why we're not seeing these emails yet.
Okay, and this one's for April. She wanted to see this one. Do you know why John Cusack is still trending? And this is day 2. He was trending yesterday, and now he's trending again today. E, do you have any idea why?
I have absolutely zero idea.
Let me put this out here first, okay? Just so we all know. I like John Cusack, the actor, in a lot of movies. I think he's great. I mean, Say Anything was a great movie. Lloyd Dobler. The Sure Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. In fact, I can't wait for my son to get a little bit older so we can watch Sure Thing together. I mean, John Cusack made a lot of 16 Candles. Yeah, his first movie was 16 Candles. He played one of the nerds that was trying to see Molly Ringwald's panties. So I like John Cusack, but full disclosure, he's banned me or blocked me on Twitter because I used to get into fights with him on Twitter. So he blocked me because he's kind of a bitch. Like in real life, he's a total bitch. He's
Jeremy Piven.
No, Jeremy Piven's just by the way, they're best friends. They are.
Well, there you go.
John Cusack and Jeremy Piven are best friends. They're both. The other thing about both of these guys is that they're very high profile Chicago celebrities in the way that Bill Murray is. Like they're local kids. They still live there. They have homes there. They're always there. So, they're big around town. But John Cusack, and this was over politics. He is so lefty. I mean, he is like super far, let's make America communist, type lefty. He's crazy lefty. So I used to get into him on Twitter with, about these things. And for a while, it was like a normal exchange. But then apparently I said something that hurt his feelings. And now John Cusack has blocked me. So I have no love for John Cusack. But with that said, wait, is this it? Do I have it here? Yes. Okay, so why is John Cusack trending? As I said, he is a very high-profile Chicago guy. When the Blackhawks were winning titles a few years ago, Stanley Cups a few years ago, you always saw John Cusack sitting with Vince. What's the dude's name? Vince Vaughn. Yeah, they were always at all the games together. And, there's like, oh, look at that noted grand Chicago sports fan, John Cusack. When the Cubs were in the World Series in actually, we can go back. When the White Sox were in the World Series in 2005, there's John Cusack and Bill Murray. Bill Murray, is a Cub fan. But so that started a whole thing about John Cusack being perceived as a Chicago Cubs fan, but he was at a White Sox game in 2005, the World Series game. And then when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, John Cusack was all over that, wearing his Cubs hat and all of that. So Sunday night, John Cusack shows up at what is the most electric Chicago White Sox game I've ever seen. The crowd was absolutely insane. Carlos Correa, the Houston Astros, said that it was the craziest playing environment he has ever experienced. And he was on the other team. I mean, it was just absolutely nuts.
The blackout game.
The blackout game, yeah. It was absolutely nuts. And it was great because for years people said, nobody likes White Sox games. White Sox fans don't even go, we're always negatively compared to the Cubs and the grandeur of Wrigley. So it was really nice for that fan base to have, come together and really have this big moment. But John Cusack was there, right? And some dude, a guy who I actually know, who is a total meatball, White Sox Dave, He hosts a White Sox show for Barstool Chicago, the Barstool Sports Network, which is just a collection of some of the worst individuals you could ever want to collect. Look, I admire the hell out of the Barstool model and what they were able to do with localizing sports in every market and then hooking them together with a national presence. So Barstool, business-wise, their business model is absolutely brilliant. But I despise almost everybody except Barstool Big Cat. He's the only one I like. But almost everybody. And White Sox Dave is a dude that I absolutely despise. So White Sox Dave did this. Now you tell me how you think this went. White Sox Dave confronts John Cusack at the White Sox game. For being a Cub fan at a White Sox game, right? So here we go. Tell me how you think this went.
You're on my Hey, step up. White Sox bandwagon. You can't root for the Cubs. I can't look at the movie. I know you did, but you can't tell me where. I can like whoever I want. Who was the first baseman in 1983? Aaron Kittle? No, Mike Squires. That means you're off. But I'm younger than that. That proves your ignorance. That's not ignorance. You know who Lamar was? Lamar Odom? Yeah, of course I know. You know who Oscar Gamble was? Yes. I know all. I know all those guys too. I think proves your ignorance. But I mean, you can't. It's all about. I made a movie about it. Half the fun about being a fan is being miserable. You can't just go to the Cubs side when I went to the ballpark growing up. But that doesn't count. You can't do that. That's like against the rules. That's the best part of having in Chicago is that you got two teams to root for. We'll have to agree to disagree. Agree to disagree, I guess. But I think it's you have to live. Stinks. Cusack. He's banned. He's number one on my ban list. John Cusack is banned.
Okay. So there you go. That's Meathead White Sox Dave thinking that he had a viral moment to go and confront John Cusack, and it didn't work out well for him. He's trending because basically the opinion of everybody who watched that is that John Cusack backed this meatball down and made him walk away sheepishly. He basically quizzed him on White Sox players of the past, and this guy couldn't name any of them, proving that maybe John Cusack's White Sox fandom is a bit more legit and certainly goes back longer than this young punk, this young Barstool punk. The other thing is this, and this is where I come down. This is why John Cusack is always welcome at White Sox games. The dude played Buck Weaver in 8 Men Out, the story of the 1918 White Sox. Buck Weaver, one of the legendary Black Sox from that team, was portrayed by John Cusack, the star of the movie. There are millions of pictures of John Cusack wearing White Sox uniforms and, going to White Sox. You can't, if you play an icon in a movie that is regarded by White Sox fans as one of the best White Sox movies, and there's been a few, believe it or not, but right? He has a right.
Well, you've done character research, I'm sure, which has got you to the point of if some guy confronts you, you're pulling out a memory. Oh, I know that.
But this whole thing came up in the early 90s when 8 Men Out was released. The John Sayles movie. If you like sports movies, it's interesting. It's like a history sports movie. When the movie came out, or before the movie came out, John Cusack actually worked his ass off to get the role. He wanted the role. He wanted to play a Chicago sports icon. He wanted to be Buck Weaver. And now you got some 20-year-old punk kid, some meatball, who is deciding that because in 2016, John Cusack went to a Cubs game wearing a Cubs hat, that he's not. Now, you know me. I hate the Chicago Cubs. But I hate the Chicago Cubs for personal reasons. Because growing up, half my buddies were White Sox fans, and half of our group were Cub fans. So I have years of talking shit back and forth to Cub fans. So that's why I am not a Cub fan. But I have never and will never be one of these guys who think that you have to choose a side. What if you live in the suburbs? Then you're neither North Side or South Side. You've got a National League team to root for and an American League team to root for. Being a Chicago baseball fan is wonderful. Only us, Los Angeles and New York, have that. where we can be a fan of two teams. Now but this is a me decision. I choose to absolutely hate the Cubs, but that's mainly because of a guy named Tom Beller, who you'll see in the chat room sometimes during Pillow Talk. I hate the Cubs because my friends love the Cubs. And you know how it is when you're 15, 16 years old and you can't do anything but argue with one another about shit. And one of your best friends hates the team you love and you hate the team they love, and they both happen to play in the same town. That's fun. That's fun. But man, yeah, White Sox Dave getting owned by John Cusack is here. This is the Houston Chronicle, front page of the Houston Chronicle, still trending. This is why it's trending. John Cusack embarrasses Barstool writer before Astros White Sox game. Oh, that actually makes sense. I didn't realize why it was such a big story in Houston, but now I'm putting it all together. Let's see. We'll just check out what they have to say about it. Oh yeah, and then there's a couple of pictures of John Cusack wearing a Cubs hat and a White Sox hat. A writer for Barstool Sports tried to call out John Cusack for being a bandwagon White Sox fan before Sunday's game with the Astros, and the 55-year-old actor promptly stuffed the attention seeker into a locker.
He did. He threw out some names to the point where the guy said, well, I'm young. I don't know those guys.
The dude doesn't even know who Mike Squires was. I mean, you can't call yourself White Sox Dave and not go back to the 80s. You got to at least the 80s. We're not talking the 1880s. Now, I could throw out some because they weren't around then, but I could throw out some of those because, as we know, I'm working on a book on the history of all the players who have played for the White Sox. But this kid, White Sox Dave, he just couldn't. But by the way, in that audio, did you hear did you hear the crowd? The crowd was electric. That was outside on the street in front of the stadium, and you still heard that crowd. That was before the game too. That was before it ever started. That wasn't after they won 12-6. That was, while it was going on. All right, one last thing. We'll finish up with this because I wanted to talk about this as trending as well. Do you remember Smash Mouth? Do you like the band Smash Mouth?
I remember the band. I don't remember.
Hey, now you're an all-star, which is a genius song to write, because I've always thought that if I was a songwriter, I would write a song that was guaranteed to be played ad nauseum forever.
An anthem.
Yes. And not necessarily an anthem, but an anthem that can be. That song All-Star is played during every All-Star game for whatever sport it is, whether it's basketball, whether it's the Pro Bowl or major. Hey, now you're an All-Star. I mean, they are just going to make money off licensing for that song as long as we play All-Star games.
A good choice of a word for his song, All-Star.
Yes, absolutely. So Steve Harrell, we'll call him the lead singer of Smash Mouth. Well, he's retiring. He is no longer going to be fronting the band Smash Mouth. Now you might say, hey, Pugs, I didn't think Smash Mouth was still playing. Well, they are. They played over the weekend. And a little piece of video that I'd like to share with you here. This is why today Smash Mouth is trending and why Steve Harrell has decided to retire from being a musician. Would you like to see Smash Mouth playing at the Wine and Cheese Festival in California over the weekend? Are you ready for this? Because it ain't good. All right, here we go. Let's pull this up. This is from TikTok. Some girl who was at the show. She decided she was going to record. So here we go.
I've ever seen.
Here we go.
Okay, I know the ethics of this are great, but I did just see Smash Mouth perform live at a local beer and wine festival. When I say this is the most chaotic show I've ever seen in my entire life, I have no words.
At no point was the sound balanced. Unintelligible speech.
All right, that's the first problem. Giving the Nazi.
Oh my!
Giving the Nazi salute. Speakers are blowing out. Okay, let's keep. Oh, it gets better. This is not a room full of punk rockers in 1995. These are a bunch of people at a wine and cheese festival. He's like, Fuck you, bitches. Hold on. His best line is coming up. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I swear to God. Hey, now you're an all-star. Hold on, I got something I want to say. I'll fucking kill your whole family. I swear to God. Okay, did you catch that one?
Quiet Now I'm the Singer.
No, before that. Here, this one. Okay, so he goes with, I'll fucking kill your whole family. To, if I could suck my own dick, I'd never leave the house.
Oh my gosh, what a mess.
Well, he retired from performing today. He put out a press statement, and it's because of his health.
Okay.
So there you have it. Should we watch it one more time? Was that a little too quick? Let's one more time.
Great, but I did just see Smash Mouth perform live at a local beer and wine festival. When I say this is the most chaotic show I've ever seen in my entire life, I have no words.
At no point was the sound balanced. Unintelligible speech.
No comment on the Nazi salute. All right.
Okay, I know the epic.
There we go. And that's why you will never see Steve Harrell playing with Smash Mouth again.
I mean, you would think he'd be able to pull it together for like his anthem. Like, I mean, how many times, like, he just was that out of it.
Oh, do we have Jeff Glenn says WFLA now will be televising coroner's update on Gabby autopsy in 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, Fox News is all geared up now. They've got the split screen, 5 different people in it. And they've got the former assistant FBI director. It says Wyoming coroner to give update on Gabby Petito autopsy.
Yeah, and CNN is in a commercial break, but before that, they were doing more divisive, Democrats versus Republican bullshit that they want to do. Also trending today, Southwest Airlines, a story of a bit of a local note. Southwest Airlines had a whole bunch of trouble over the weekend, and their CEO, Gary Kelly, went on TV today and said it had nothing to do with people walking out because of vaccine mandates, which appears to be the reason why a bunch of people called in sick.
Yeah, they canceled like hundreds of flights. People were at airport for hours to only find out that Southwest like not only delayed it but canceled it.
Yeah, I saw. Now, to be fair, there were other airlines that also had to cancel flights over the weekend. But there was a whole bunch of trouble going on with airlines over the weekend. But Southwest seems to have suffered the biggest issue. 70% of their flights on Sunday afternoon were canceled. Lines at the airport were absolutely insane for people to rebook tickets. And they're saying that this is because of the new vaccine mandates that says that employees of Southwest Airlines, because they are a government contractor, the federal government has said that if you make money off the federal government through contracts, you have to mandate that all of your employees are vaccinated. And a whole bunch of Southwest Airlines people walked out and whatever. I imagine there's going to be a whole lot of jobs available at Southwest Airlines for people looking to...
You would think HR would know the status of their employee, of their body of employees.
Yeah.
Before you got to that point of a crisis.
Yeah. You would.
I mean, I would think.
I love Southwest Airlines. I mean, now granted, the majority of my flights over the past few years have been between Dallas and Chicago. And if you're flying between Dallas and Chicago, it don't get no better than Southwest. it's like 75 cents per ride. It's like $1.50. You can get a round trip. I mean, it's ridiculously inexpensive. And it also, here's the other great thing about flying Southwest. Certainly between Chicago and Dallas, you get the two best airports in America, in my opinion. Midway Airport and Love Field, the two easiest major metropolitan airports. I mean, some people might throw LaGuardia in, but have you ever been to LaGuardia? LaGuardia is awful.
It's a zoo. Oh my gosh.
Do not compare Dallas Love Field and Chicago Midway to LaGuardia. Yes, it is the second airport in a major city, but it's just as bad as Kennedy. If you're going to New York, you're screwed. Newark is where people who fly in, people who really know that people who fly to New York all the time, they fly into Newark because that's supposed to be the one that's really good. But yeah, so I mean, I like Southwest, whatever. I hope they get their shit together, but I don't have plans to fly anywhere, so it doesn't really affect me. Also, Mark Harmon is trending today. Do you know who Mark Harmon is?
Singer. Let me think. Mark Harmon. Oh no, Star Wars.
No, it's Mark Hamill.
Hamill?
Mark Harmon. This is funny because I know who Mark Harmon is because back in the 80s, one of his first roles was playing Jeffrey Dahmer in the movie Deliberate Stranger, or not Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy in the movie Deliberate Stranger. And he was awesome as Ted Bundy. He was so good. But he was also on a show I liked, St. Elsewhere.
Oh, wasn't he in like a TV series?
Well, that's why he's trending. NCIS.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Mark Harmon has been the star of NCIS for 18 years. This damn show has been on the air for 18 years. I've never seen an episode. I have no idea what it's about. I don't know, but he's announced that he is leaving the show after 18 years, and he is no longer very good looking guy. Mark Harmon, he's I have problems with these people who have absolutely everything in life. Mark Harmon is one of these dudes who has been given absolutely everything in life. Okay, so first, he's the son of Tom Harmon, who was a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for UCLA back in the day and, played in the NFL, but then went on to become a local Los Angeles broadcaster. His mother is, what was her name? I can't think of her name, but she's considered to be the first true supermodel. Remember the name supermodel came up in the 70s?
Angie Harmon?
No, not related to Angie Harmon. I don't believe so. I think Angie Harmon's from Highland Park, Texas. So I don't think they're related, but
cousin.
So he's got fabulously connected parents, a father who's a Heisman Trophy winner and a very well-regarded broadcaster in the Los Angeles area. His mom is a supermodel. His sister married John DeLorean. Just like all of these crazy. He is wildly good looking. Mark Harmon, wildly good looking guy. Well, supermodel mom, I guess those genes are going to filter down at some point. Then he himself was a really good college football quarterback for UCLA in the 1970s. And then he decided that he didn't want to go pro, or maybe he wasn't that good, but you're quarterback of UCLA, you know what I mean? I mean, you're not
getting a few looks.
You're not a quarterback for West Tulsa State. You in the 1970s, you were a quarterback for UCLA. They were a big school back then. They had basketball and John Wooden and all that, but still, they were a top program in the Pac-10. All right, so he's got that. He's good looking. He's an athlete. His parents are well connected. His sister's well connected, and he's married to Pam Mindy from Mork and Mindy, who, if you're a kid my age, she was like the perfect woman to marry when I was 8 years old. Mindy McConnell from Mork. She was adorable. She was not. So he gets her, and then he's get this acting career, which, we can't really name a whole lot of stuff that he's been. You can. I mean, I can because I'm a TV freak and I like The West Wing and I like St. Elsewhere and I love the Deliberate Stranger Bundy movie. But honestly, he's not the kind of guy that people could name one of his great, but still, here he is, and he's trending today. Mark Harmon is leaving NCIS.
And on a night soap opera for 18 years.
Is it a soap opera or is it one of those crime procedurals?
I'm just saying, like, it's that career. Like, you're always in the evening time slot during the week.
He shows up and he's handsome. and he carries a gun and a badge. So, certain, so it's kind of a cool gig, be a TV cop for 18 years. My God, I still know the guys from Starsky and Hutch, and that show was only on for 5 years. This guy's been on this damn show for 18 years. NC, I've never seen an episode. I always thought that it was like a knockoff of CSI, and I never watched CSI. I don't watch any of those. I don't watch CSI. I don't watch Numbers. I don't watch NCIS. I don't watch Chicago PD. I don't watch Chicago Fire. I don't like those kinds of shows. They all seem, a little bit, not peak TV. All right, I guess that's gonna do it.
So, tip for everybody that's listening: get your Christmas shopping done now.
Why?
The supply chain is like, have you seen all the shipping containers on the boats outside just not making their way here? I mean, things are gonna go bad quickly when we start shopping.
His other sister, Shelley Brazil, points this out. This is true as well. Mark Harmon's one sister was married to John DeLorean, the car guy, the disgraced car guy, and his other sister was married to Ricky Nelson of the Ozzie and Harriet. Ricky Nelson, went to a garden. So his whole family is like super connected, and this guy's just been skating through life as a devastatingly handsome athlete turned actor.
Well, he's retiring. Had enough.
Bill Falk also points out Summer School. Totally forgot about Summer School. That is probably Mark Harmon's greatest film, Summer School, with the highly underappreciated and underrated Dean Cameron. Look up Dean Cameron. If you're my age, you remember Dean Cameron. Ski School, Summer School, Ski Patrol, anything that had to do with book learning or snow skiing, Dean Cameron was in. Used to catch those movies. You used to catch Dean Cameron movies like on Showtime late at night because there was boobs. And when you were like 12, 13 years old like me, that's the stuff you wanted to watch.
Probably a good way for him to write off his ski trips.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. We'll be back tonight for Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk is, we do it every Sunday through Thursday nights, 10 o'clock. We have a bit more of a bigger show. It's always us. We're sometimes joined by James Parker, usually joined by James Parker at night. He's a busy man. He's got stuff going on during the day. Thank you so much to Eve for coming by here for High Noon. Again, High Noon is every day, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 o'clock typically. But like I said, I got a very... Well, it's not about baseball. It's about the Gabby Petito autopsy. I want to be able to really take that whole thing. Tell me what they say, because as you can imagine, I probably won't be watching. You're going to have to text me on that.
I'm going to be clicking back and forth.
I love my White Sox, but I just don't feel like this is the year.
The two lesbians from Wyoming.
I don't think we're going to get any answers.
Still missing. Just as we go.
All right, thank you, folks. We'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock for the Pillow Talk edition. I am Pugs. This is Pugs and Company. He is E. We appreciate you all being here. Bye, everybody. This is how we